Well, hi. How's it going, everyone? My name's Tonda Corrente, and I am the founder of La Femme du Fromage in Orlando, Florida. And I'm actually coming to you live from my new little boutique that I opened upstairs, which is so fantastic. I can't actually believe that I actually own such a cute little vintage boutique now. But really, I had no room for anything downstairs because my cheese shop is a shoebox. It is 200 square feet of everything. So we needed more space. And well, I just can't just have more space that doesn't turn me money. So I turned it into a vintage boutique. So that's where I am at right now, which is actually an office too. I wanted to have a little fun with this particular pairing and this challenge, and also to thanks Michael for including me in and the cocktail pairing because you know I love pairings. And what I've done is I also created a pairing using Deer Creek Creamery. They too are one of my favorite cheese companies out of Wisconsin. And although Kristen sent me a bunch of cheese, I mean, I didn't ask either. I probably should have, but I originally started buying the MoonRabbit Cheddar because, of course, I loved the labels. Because what I love about Deer Creek Creamery is that they have the cutest artistry with all their little labels. And well, it's a shame that I don't have that label smacked on my cheese right now, but I digress. It's a cute little bunny, and of course, I love bunnies, and it's just the cutest little thing. And so I bought the cheese, really not knowing much about it. But the cheese is it's their sweet cream cheddar recipe, but then they bathe it in green chartreuse, which is wrapped in this beautiful fairy-like green kind of color, which really resembles the color of the chartreuse. So then it makes me kind of say, gosh, what's chartreuse? Like, really, what is that? I mean, I've heard of it, but like, really, what is it? And it's such a neat story. It's a little bit folklore, like a little bit mystery, no, a lot bit mystery, definitely scandal and controversy, and yet a story of like perseverance for this liqueur that really just kind of has been such a secret for such a long time. And I think that that just makes things really sexy when you have no idea and you're just kind of like, wait, where does this come from? So basically, the story of chartreuse. Chartreuse is a French liqueur, and it was made. I mean, the recipe for it, the elixir itself, was back in the 1600s. It was given to some monks in the Grand Chartreuse Monastery in the 1700s. The monastery was in the Green Chartreuse, the Chartreuse Mountains in the south of France. And it's this really interesting, they've got a green and a yellow chartreuse, but it is an interesting, beautiful green color. This is the one I'm using today. It's made of like 130 herbs and florals and all kinds of things that and really the recipe is just a secret. It's just a secret. And these monks had this secret recipe, and then the story goes that they were fleeing their religious persecution out of France, and then somebody had the recipe in like in a manuscript or whatnot, and then that person got arrested, and but he was able to like smuggle the recipe in because he didn't get searched, and he was able to give it to a friend. And well, anyway, long story short, it's been through all kinds of hands and secret kind of dealings to be able to withstand. And today it's still being made by a monastery, and only like two people know the recipe. And like, I guess they produce it all for the entire globe. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how much of it's all true, but I kind of love secret kind of society, speakeasy style just underground culture. And that's kind of what this is. So when a cheese is bathed in green chartreuse, of course, I'm going to try and come up with a cocktail. So going into the cocktail books, I came up with a classic bijou. A bijou is a classic cocktail from the late 1800s, and it is a gin-based drink. So I've got an herb-infused dry gin. I'm using, obviously, the Bombay Sapphire. And then we've got a little bit of the Sweet Vermouth, and then, of course, the Green Chartreuse. So I'm going to start to mix that. We're doing 1 part, equal parts, all the way. So I'm going to use my little jigger. My bartending skills are a little lacking. The show part of it, I guess, is I haven't been bottle flipping and setting things on fire in many a year. So we're going to use just equal parts here. And then, of course, I've gone last in this lineup, which I'm fine with. It's okay. I don't mind being the last. I'm usually not lucky enough to be the last one. So I'm going to use some of my non-melted ice as I dump it all over my floor. And I'm just giving it a light stir. And that's about it, I believe. And then I'm going to kind of strain it. My ice is a little loose right now, so I think there was probably some water in there as well too. Oh well. And then I'm going to come in here with a little bit of an orange. Let me just rip this off because I had already kind of started doing it. And let me just get a new pretty little piece. And I'm going to give it a little essence, a little, yep. Let that kind of float in there. I've got a large format ice cube, well, a puddle of water, but also a nice large ice cube in there. Maybe I really need to bring this little guy up on top because I like him to kind of be a nice little. So this is what I was talking about when my bartending skills are a little less than par. All good. I really don't care. I forgot the orange bitters. Whatever. We're just going to go with it. But what I'm doing here, because this drink was really sweet, because the chartreuse is sweet and the vermouth is sweet. And of course, the gin is pretty neutral, right? So everything was kind of sweet. And for me, pairing it with this cheese, it just kind of overpowered. So I needed a little salinity. So I grabbed some Fleur de Sel and I'm literally adding it right to the top of my ice, my, what used to be a big rock. And I'm just kind of adding it right in there. And I'm actually watching all the salt kind of sink to the bottom here. And then I also like to garnish it with a little pretty herb just to kind of just allow it to just be aromatic when it comes to your nose. So doing this again with this MoonRabbit sweet cream cheddar, bathed in the green chartreuse, and then you've got this fun Bijou bunny, which was my name for it, the Boozey Bougie Bijou bunny. That was really just a joke. It's really just the Bijou bunny, because that's what this pairing is. And and it's really good. And actually, when you get that salt, it really just really helps quite a bit, because this is a boozy drink. I mean, I kind of like it like that. No judgments here, please. But you need a little of that salinity to kind of help balance things out, because you want that crunchiness and that saltiness in the cheese to be able to stand up. And when you add that Fleur de Sel in there, it really just kind of helps orchestrate the entire pairing. So, but I think it was really, really good. I wish I could share it with you right now.
What's in the chartreuse? Tell us the secret. Tell us the secret.
I don't know the secret. Nobody knows the secret. It's 130 herbs.
I love the name. That is so great. I think that's one of the most fun parts about all this is coming up with the name. We don't have to. I don't think Michael's ever said we had to, but it's so much fun.
Well, you know, I feel like it's also kind of just alluring too, because people don't really know what chartreuse is. And it's like, well, what exactly is that? And I just kind of went for it. I went for something that would, it would make sense that you would find a chartreuse drink to make with a set, you know, a cheese like that. But I just didn't know that anybody would actually go for it, because you're like kind of not sure even what the thing is. And it's just such an easy, well, it's not easy at all. It's a very complex, floral, interesting, fairy-like kind of liqueur, as well as it has that whole folklore kind of story behind it too. And it's just, I don't know, kind of fascinating. Just fascinating. Fascinating.
Tonda, I thought it was cool that you picked that cheese, because I first tasted that cheese in a box of several different ones given to me, and I had to look up chartreuse to see what is this.